Hi everybody and welcome back to part 2 of building a Java banking application. In part 1 we initiated the class variables, created a constructor and two methods, one to draw money and the other to deposit money. Now we have a way to deposit money into our bank account and we have a way to take money out of our bank account. Then we need a method that will show us our previous transaction. So a method will display previous transaction. So we can use a getter for this actually. So we'll go void get previous transaction. And this won't take any parameters because it won't need any. It'll literally just go back to the last withdrawal or deposit that was made and display that information. If previous transaction is bigger than 0, now remember that we've initialized previous transaction right at the top as one of our class variables. So if previous transaction is bigger than 0, meaning there is an addition of money, meaning you've deposited money, you can say deposited. So we're letting the user know the last transaction was deposited, and we'll go previous transaction. Great. Else if previous transaction is less than 0, meaning it's in the negatives, it means that we need to put on display our last transaction, which was withdrawn. So now what will happen when you call this method, if the last transaction was a positive, it means that it was a deposit, so it will display the amount that was deposited. Else, if previous transaction is a negative, it means that the last transaction was withdrawn and it will show the negative amount over here. Just lastly, if nothing happened, we can just print no transaction occurred. Just by the way, with some cool trick I picked up, if you just type this out and you press Control Spacebar, it gives you the whole thing magooty with brackets and everything. That's just, it saves a lot of time. This is good. Okay, so now we have our get previous transaction, which will display our previous transaction. Next step is to actually create a method that will display our menu in a while loop, as well as take input from our user. So to start off with, and let's call it show menu. Okay, so what we're initializing here at the top is a character called option. Now option is going to be what our user selects out of the menu that we provide to them. And right now this is sort of just like initializing it as 0. Then we are going to create a scanner. If you haven't used a scanner before, the scanner is to take in information from the user. You can also use it to read files. Okay, and there we go. I forgot to put new scanner in there. And now you should be able to import it. So I usually import java.util. You'll see at the top it's appeared over there. Okay, cool. So let us create our menu. Welcome. Plus customer ID. And over here, we are going to be able to A, check balance, B, deposit, C, withdraw, D, previous transaction, and E, exit. Okay. Now we are going to use a do-while loop. So while something is equal to something, do something else. So in order to do that, we need a do and we need a while. So while option is not equal to E. So basically what we're saying here is do this code block, so whatever we're going to put in here, while option is not equal to E. So essentially we're about to create something here that will take in a character from the user, so the user will have to choose between A, B, C, D, and E. And while the input is not E, it will run in a while loop. We are going to use a switch statement in here just because it's a little easier to use than a lot of if-else statements. So first of all, let's get user input from the user. Let's do that so that they're the same length. Here we're going to put out enter and option. Option equals scanner.next character at index 0. So what this line is going to do is when the program starts, it's going to display our menu and ask the user to input an option, meaning A, B, C, D, or E. So this scanner is going to scan what option the user has input. And then we're going to use switch option case A. Okay, so A is check balance. So what we want to do is we want to check the balance. So in order to do that, we should just put balance is equal to balance. Then I'm just going to copy and paste this for uniformity. Got case A. So how this works is we switch option, which we've initialized here. So whatever the user inputs, if that is A, we will bring up the balance. I could actually just copy paste this down here. If it is B, we are going to deposit money in. So we are going to actually enter an amount to deposit. and we are going to scan in the amounts. And once we've gotten that amount in, we are actually going to deposit that amount. So this deposit over here comes from our method over here. Go back to the while loop, same over here. And let's copy paste this into the next one. So if case is C, what is next? We are withdrawing money. So enter an amount to withdraw. We're going to call this amount 2, and over here we're going to change this to withdraw amount 2. Break. Okay, and then lastly, well, actually no, not lastly, we still have 2 more. So this one, A, B, C, D. D is to see previous transaction, so we are going to use our getter, which is get previous transaction. And then lastly, we will have case E, which is exit. So you can just maybe put some stars. And thank you for using. Okay. We need, if there is no case match, try again. Default invalid option, please try again. So forgot to break here. Speaking of break, I'm going to end it here for now. Check out the last video in the series for a recap on what we've done so far, running our program, and pushing it to GitHub for our portfolio. If you like this video, consider subscribing.